the challenger, Jesse James Leija out of San Antonio, Texas, 27-0-2 with 13 knockouts, currently rated number 2 by the WBC. Tonight, his second world title shot. The first one he battled to that draw with Azumah Nelson. Perhaps instead of rematch, the word retest is more suitable, since Nelson likes to call himself the professor and always alludes to his opponent as the pupil. The question is, did Jesse James Leija learn from that first test, and did he do his homework in preparation for the retest? Time will tell. And now, here is the champion, 35-year-old three-time world champ, Azumah Nelson from Accra, Ghana, Africa, 36-2-2 with 25 knockouts tonight. His 10th defense of the WBC super featherweight title he's held for over 5 years. The professor, who's had to give Leija a passing grade for his first test, but Azumah simply feels that experience will win out. Further comparing this rematch with Nelson Fenwick 2 in Australia, there was more pressure on Fenwick fighting at home. This fight on neutral ground, not as nerve-wracking perhaps for Leija with the first bout in San Antonio, but again, the edge to Nelson, who's known as the road warrior, fighting just about every match in enemy territory. Let's see how they stack up on paper. To the tail of the tape, Nelson at 35, 8 years older than Leija. Both stand in at 5'5". Leija tipped the scales at 130. Nelson 129.5. Leija with the 4-inch reach advantage. Nelson, incidentally, a little more than an 8-5 favorite. To the WBC rules for this championship bout, 10-point must system, 3 scoring judges, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. So here at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, getting set for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship, the rematch between Azumah Nelson and Jesse James Leija. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the world's largest hotel, casino, and theme park, the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, for Revenge the Rematches, a tremendous night of action coming your way, which features 4 world title rematch main events, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions and King Vision, in association with SET Pay-Per-View, Corona Beer, and the MGM Grand. At this time, we present the WBC Super Featherweight Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, the President, Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Steve Crossan, along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Dr. Elias Ghanem. Presenting the judges as appointed, Jojo Guerra, Jerry Roth, and Kamel Youssef. Introducing to you the referee in charge of this bout to give instructions after the introductions, Mitch Halpern. All right, fans, here we go with the WBC Super Featherweight Championship of the World, a rematch scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing black trunks and fighting out of and representing the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas. He weighed in at an even 130 pounds, and he enters the ring with a record of 27 wins, no losses, 2 draws, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He is ranked the WBC #2 Super Featherweight contender. Please welcome the classy and undefeated Jesse James Leija. And his opponent across the ring on my right is the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing white trunks with red trim and hailing from Accra, Ghana. His weight, 129.5 pounds. His record, 37 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 26 wins coming by way of knockout. Welcome the former WBC featherweight and current WBC Super Featherweight Champion of the World. In his 11th defense of his title, he is known as the Mighty Warrior. Introducing the Professor of Boxing, Azumah Nelson. Once again, your referee in charge, Mitch Halpern, now to give instructions.
I've already given instructions to the dressing room. We want a good, clean fight. I want you to obey my commands at all times. If you have any questions, all right, touch him up. Let's go. Touch him. Come on.
Azumah Nelson looking for the decisive victory. Nelson said, if I don't knock out Leija in the rematch, I'll quit boxing. But in the same breath, he said, I'm not ready to retire. He's got his 3 children from Africa here to see him fight for the first time. David was in the ring holding the belt. Jesse James Leija, undefeated, rated number 2, former NABF featherweight champ, second world title fight. Leija told us he'll do exactly what he did in the first fight. He's quite cognizant that Nelson will try to knock him out. Here we go, round 1, scheduled for 12 in the rematch between Nelson and Leija for the WBC super featherweight title.
Azumah said he was going to be very serious at the beginning and try to get a knockout. He's certainly starting that way. Just the first few seconds, he's thrown a couple of very hard punches, which didn't land, but you can see his intentions.
You can see he's trying to apply the pressure real early, and it's not just body pressure, it's mental pressure. Always being in your face, always giving you something to worry about, and sometimes with an overexperienced fighter, he can get to a young man by doing that, but Jesse, I still think he's the goods.
Yeah, Jesse is. If he doesn't win this fight, and there's no reason to believe he wouldn't, but if he doesn't, then he will be the champion sooner or later, because he is excellent as a fighter.
Leija, wearing the black trunks, told us he was never hurt by Nelson in the first fight, saying the strongest fighter he ever fought was Louis Espinoza. Nelson, his 30, pointed out, indicated after the first fight with Leija that during the fight he had a problem with bone chips in his left hand. In fact, he had surgery after the first fight with Leija. You recall after the first fight with Fennec in '91, also a draw, he revealed afterwards he had malaria. So he has redefined the term playing hurt.
Well, I'll tell you what, he just unloaded some pretty decent shots to Jesse's body. Jesse responded well, didn't panic, covered up, threw some counters. But he's trying to get to his body, he's trying to get there early, and Azumah's throwing big punches early.
And I think the key word is what you applied, Bobby, pressure. That's what he wants to show, and that's what he's showing. Boy, is he putting pressure on Leija.
Leija said something very interesting to us yesterday. He says, I never go into a fight to win. I go in to do my best. That's what I preach to the kids. Respect yourself. Most unusual, though, to hear a professional athlete with that philosophy. Could that be construed as a crutch, Bobby? You are still fighting, because if you lose, you could always say, I gave it my best.
Well, Jesse's a unique individual, and he understands that you can only give 100% of what you have, and if you do, you can look in the mirror and you can shave and be happy. Okay, but the problem here is that sometimes people get a mixed message. Certainly, second place in boxing is last place, and I don't know that you ever want to come in last.
And in fairness to Leija, he has never lost.
While that was going on, Leija landed a very crisp and hard right hand right on the jaw of Azumah Nelson. Didn't even shake him, but it was a thing of beauty. Right now, the pressure is all, and the aggressiveness is all Azumah Nelson.
Leija says his legs are much stronger, he's quicker. Maybe he'll apply more pressure at the end. His style very patient. He says he doesn't look for the knockout. As Bobby points out, Leija definitely has the goods, but he's fighting Azumah Nelson, who's one of the all-time greats. Final seconds, round 1. As we head for the bell. One round of the books. Let's check in with Montel Williams.
Hey, thanks a lot, Steve. You know, this show is being viewed in probably over 15 Hispanic-speaking countries. I don't know how many people it is, but I tell you, a guy that's known well over there and over here is Mr. Paul Rodriguez. Thanks for coming here.
Thanks, Montel. Saludos a todas las 21 countries.
21 countries.
21 countries. I counted them.
There you go. All of them. How many people does that represent?
Oh, let's see, about 300 million.
That's good.
That's quite a few.
So now, who are you rooting for during this fight?
Well, you know, I got to go with my blood, you know.
Gotcha.
I think Leija is going to win this one, and then I think Chavez in the 8th, you know.
Uh-oh. Did you put some money down on this?
Hey, I put some pesos down on this. Yeah.
Well, good.
Well, you know, Chavez, I was born in Culiacan. I was born in Culiacan myself, so I gotta.
You got it. Look, we're going to come back with you a little later on, because you're going to tell us about some stuff that you're working on.
Right.
So let's go back over
2 between Azumah Nelson and Jesse James Leija. Mitch Halpern, the third man in the ring. Azumah comes out swinging. The son of a tailor who rose to great heights by becoming a 3-time world champion. A couple of misses there. First by Leija and then by Nelson.
Well, right now, Nelson's doing what he wants to do. I gave him the first round. He's applying the pressure. But Jesse's showing good patience. He's waiting. He's looking to time him with that right hand on the way in. I think he's got to hit Azumah pretty good soon to get him to slow down. He's got to stop that charge, just allowing him to walk through.
No, he can't just keep taking his punishment because it'll build up on him. He's got to come back with something pretty soon. But it's only the second round. So far, both game plans are in effect, and nothing to criticize either one. Leija is doing what he wants, and Azumah Nelson is doing what he wants. No problem.
Nelson, the longest current reigning champion, combines intelligence, guile, and power. Excellent inside puncher, blocks punches well. Similar to Julio Cesar Chavez, skillful boxer as well as a ferocious puncher. He has knockout power, but not a one-punch knockout artist. Excellent counter puncher. Oh, a good right hand by Leija, and Nelson is down. Azumah Nelson is down.
He was watching him. He was watching that right hand. Azumah Nelson opened up, and Jesse timed him. That timing punch. I'll tell you what, the kid was waiting. He showed the patience. I told you, that's the goods.
A spectacular knockdown, no question about that. And here's where you need that clock. It's 1 minute and 30. I'm sure Azumah would like to know how much time is left.
What you don't want to do here if you're Leija is burn yourself out, which he's not doing. At the same time, you might want to apply a little more pressure to Nelson, see just how hurt he is. But here's a guy who can set you up and give you the same right hand and put you on the floor.
You don't see Azumah Nelson on the floor very much. So that must have been one corker of a right hand.
Shaking it off and continuing. Less than a minute to go in round 2.
Well, he certainly hasn't come after him. Really good right hand. Another good right hand by Leija.
You look at Nelson's eyes, though. He's back, and he's looking to make a trade. He still thinks in his mind and in his heart that if he gets into a slugfest, he'll be the better man.
Big right that missed by Azumah Nelson.
He's getting hit by the right hands that Leija's throwing, no question about it. Leija has got him clocked with that right hand.
Keep the punches up, says Mitch Halpern to Leija.
Bobby, you surprised that Leija hadn't attacked real hard when he had the champion on the ground?
Not really. I'm not real surprised. Like I said, he has a lot of patience. He might have showed just too much patience. Might have exercised a little too much caution there. But I thought he would have gone forward maybe just a little more, but I'm not real surprised with it.
Good finish by Leija here as we head for the bell, round 2. So a 10-8 round for the challenger, Jesse James Leija.
Okay, listen, let me tell you something. No fuck with this boy. Go inside the man. Look, stand while you finish the punch. Okay? Throw punches, Azumah. Throw punches. Okay? How you feel? You all right? Let's get out of here. Let's go quick. Open quick. Sit down. When you finish the punches, sit down. Okay?
Open this sheet down.
Yeah, okay.
Now take a look at that. Keep your eye on the right hand of Leija, which is what does it. There it is. What a nice. I don't know if that second one was the puncher that put him down at first and looked like it handed flush. Take a look at it, Bobby.
Well, if you look at it, he hits him pretty clean with the first one, but it's a little round. On the way in here, he hits him right in the side of the temple, sharp, and drops him down, turns his body and shoulder right in, and boom, down goes Nelson. What a surprise.
Nice piece of work for Jesse James Leija. Nice piece of work.
The knockdown occurring 120 into round 2. We enter round 3. Azumah Nelson, the champion, who has lost only twice in 40 fights to the late Salvador Sanchez in 1982 and against Pernell Whitaker 4 years ago.
Well, it really is not a big point thing. We're down to, because it's only in the second round. It's a 10-8 round, makes it 18-19. So, it's not that bad, except in the corner they said, listen, step up the pace, go even faster, they said to Nelson.
The points may not be the problem. The problem could be that now he does have to worry about that right hand, and yes, that kid can hurt him.
Yeah, because in our interview, he said he has nothing to hurt me with. I don't care what he hits me with. Now he knows different. I'm talking about Azumah Nelson. He was absolutely confident this kid had nothing to hurt him with.
So this a far cry from Nelson Fennick to the fight we did in Melbourne, Australia, when he dominated Jeff Fennick. Another hard right hand there. Short, crisp right by Leija.
Nice combination. I can't impress upon you enough the patience that Jesse's using here. He's demonstrating enormous skill. He's watching the punches. He's blocking where he has to. He's unloading clean, accurate shots when it's his turn.
Coming into the first fight, Leija said, I can't fight Azumah's fight, which is more of a brawling stuff, but by the same token, I'm not going to back away. I'll move in and out. Well, he's been doing just that here in the rematch.
Yeah, he made a mention to her during the interviews that if he had to go man-to-man, he said, I have to earn that respect. He said, no, get it. And I think he did that in the last round.
I think that's already done. The respect is there.
But this is low there by Leija.
This is a 12-round fight. Believe me, Azumah's used to being here all 12 rounds. He's not in a hurry.
Well, Nelson, of course, we know as a punishing fighter who tries to wear down his opponent, take him out in the later rounds. That's usually the way things go with Azumah Nelson.
I thought this round was going to be an important round for both fighters. Nelson coming off the floor needed to get that aggressive style going again and establish himself, but Leija needed to show that maybe now he's the man in charge.
But in the past, look out. In the past, not uncommon for Nelson to fall behind on the scorecards in the early rounds and slowly and systematically come back, punish his opponent before moving in for the finish. We'll see what happens here.
Well, it looks like Azumah is getting the range with the big guns.
Final 30 seconds, round 3.
Azumah landed 1 or 2 big bombs in this round, but Jesse's done more of the work in this round. He's used more energy, but Nelson not winning this round.
Well, especially that beautiful combination that we stopped and talked about. That was the thing of beautiful. And he has been patient, and he has dictated the pace of this round.
So the challenger, Leija, controlling the tempo. And round 3 is history. Another man looking to regain a title or take away a title. 26-year-old Terry Norris quietly behind the scenes, hoping to recapture the WBC super welterweight belt from Simon Brown. Norris stopped by Brown in the 4th round back in December in Puebla, Mexico. Norris coming away from his March tune-up, a 4th round KO of Armando Campos.
This is the right hand that's been buying the marketplace for him. Now take a look at this light right there. That was a combination we talked about that ended up in the right hand, and that and the patience and the way he dictated that round, I thought won the round for him.
I concur.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Come on out.
Round number 4. We've had one knockdown. Azumah Nelson surprised in the 2nd round by a harsh right unleashed by the challenger Leija.
Now, we haven't talked about over the first 3 rounds too much, but deceptively effective little jab Jesse James is using to keep Nelson off and making him miss some of those big shots.
Ooh. All Azumah is in that jungle mode of his where he wants to get blow for blow there.
I don't think there's any question about it. This bout is certainly one of those mano-a-mano bouts.
Another right hand, another one.
Nelson now moving in with evil intentions, but being blocked by Leija. And now Nelson missing.
Jesse's keeping that left hand high. You know he respects this guy's power.
Bobby, is a little blood. It looks like a little blood now. It looks like a lot of blood coming from the left eyebrow of Leija. Well, those big right bombs are doing something.
He's bleeding profusely.
That could even be when he blocked the punch that his own laces got, you know, where the laces are inside, got driven into his eyebrow.
It could be because he had his arm right up there. His glove, see how his glove is? That could very well happen.
And suddenly Nelson with confidence.
Well, it certainly wasn't a butt. There have been no butts.
Now, I think Joe Souza and company in the corner of Leija will get that cut under control as quickly as possible.
And referee Mitch Halpern escorts Leija to the doctor.
Now, I didn't see it's that big. I just thought it started to nick. It may turn out to be big if he keeps landing those whistling rights.
Well, right now it seems to be pretty drippy. It's coming out, but is it going in his eye? That's going to be the big question.
Well, Bobby, if it starts dripping and pumping, there's nobody can stop that. That means he's nicked an artery, and that is unstoppable. If it's pumping and throbbing, that he's going to have all night long.
Nelson now just cocking the fist, looking to uncork. Oh, proper combination there by Azumah Nelson.
It's going to be important for Leija here to get through this round, get back to the corner and regroup. He's got to not worry about the cut, provided his cutman in the corner to get this under control.
But you see what he's doing, Bob? He's gotten anxious. He's reaching, whereas before he was landing crisp combinations. Now he reaches with them. He's reaching with the right hand because he is getting desperate. I mean, that when you feel all that coming down the side of your face, the doctor's already looked at you. You got to start thinking about it.
Beautiful bobbing and weaving defense by Leija with blood streaking down the left side of his face. The crowd chanting Leija in unison.
Yeah, so far that blood's coming around the eye. It's not going directly down. It's kind of making a little trail around the eye, which is good for Leija.
Final seconds of the fourth round. The assault by Leija at the ground.
Don't worry about the cut. Give me water. Give me water. Stay in there. See what we can do. Take care of the cut. Don't worry about the blood up here. Okay. Put the pressure. Give me a towel there. Let me wipe this blood out of it. Now you're going to fight this round, okay? With your hands up, coming in and bang them.
We'll take a look here. This might be where the butt or the head wound up clashing, or the right hand, whatever we had in there. We had a nice little group of combinations with right hands, but we can't tell what hit landed solidly, and he came out of there and there was a cut. Doesn't appear to be any heads though, Freddie.
No, there was no heads. It was a blow, and it could well have been what you said, that his glove was up, but he was getting hit with such big right hands. And of course, this guy's got too much. There was too much water on the corner. Leija has a huge amount of gunk on his eye there. I'm surprised they let him come out with all that, but a couple of punches and that will be out.
Well, that punch just eliminated some of the gunk.
The problem just went out.
There's the gunk corner over there.
Joe Souza working feverishly in the corner of Jesse James Leija, the cut man.
Well, from what I saw, it is a pretty good cut. It is deep. It is not exactly a throbber. I don't see that the arterial blood is coming out pumping and throbbing, but it sure is bleeding hard, so it's a deep cut.
Well, I certainly think that could change things for Jesse. He might get desperate. He might start doing things that he normally want to do. You know, he's still boxing smart. He's taking his time, and I think if they get that cut under control, we have ourselves a good, long, hard fight.
A crossfire low blow by Leija. A funny look from the face of Azumah Nelson, like, what are you trying to pull here?
Well, you better pull something out of the bag, because he is in big, big trouble with that cut. Oh, look at that. Is that a thing of beauty, Bobby, as a defense?
You know, he does. He makes it look so easy and so smooth.
From an old man to bounce something down and make him miss like that. A young kid with such a good, accurate arm. That's graceful. That's wonderful, wonderful boxing on the part of Azumah Nelson.
Just living up to his nickname, the Professor. Wild right that just grazed the face of Leija.
Well, I'll tell you, I thought Azumah was going to go a little more right-hand crazy as he had in the last round when he saw the cut. That's not the case.
It has not been the first low blow issued by the challenger.
It doesn't seem to bother Azumah.
Absolutely.
He's not a guy to complain either. This guy can work with pain.
Anybody who's been through malaria and bone chips, right?
I'm telling you, and bone chips in his elbow and his wife dying during one bout. It was just an awful, awful time that Azumah's had.
You wonder how good he might be if everything was fine and he was healthy.
And some people do well under strain.
The crowd exhorting Leija.
Leija's landing some nice combinations on the inside. They're both winding up with low blows. So this could be another one of our low blow fests.
Nelson with the last low blow. And the chance of Leija. He must feel like he's back home in San Antonio.
Well, he's going to need everything he can get here. Every bit of cheering he can get. It's another curious aspect of Azumah's career. He never fights at home. He always fights in the other guy's hometown.
He is the road warrior.
He literally doesn't care where he fights. He really doesn't. Something I noticed that Leija's doing differently in this fight, too. He's working Nelson's body a little more. Certainly a dangerous thing if you're not careful. But Jesse has the type of chin where if he gets caught, he'll survive.
Leija, the first man to put Nelson on the canvas since the late Salvador Sanchez back in round 2 as we head for the bell. Let's go to Jim Gray and a report on Jesse James Leija.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I just talked to the attending physician here at ringside, Dr. Flip Pomansky. He tells us that the cut to Jesse James Leija was of the variety of a punch. It was not a headbutt. He says that the vision really is not affected right now, that it is just above his eye and should not affect him in the fight unless it continues to pour out some blood. He feels as though he should be able to continue. Steve?
All right, thank you very much, Jim.
And it should be mentioned, good corner work is being done also. They're applying mostly pressure before they get around to the gunk, and that, of course, is the key to stopping a fight. Stopping a cut.
He's getting a little tired. I'm going to get more tired.
Right, get confused him and jab and move and right hand, okay? Let's go. Right on there.
Leija feels that Azumah Nelson's getting a little tired.
I would never make that assumption of the man.
I wonder how he guessed that.
Bobby, how do you see it so far on your unofficial scorecard?
I have it 48-46 unofficially, of course. It's strictly my opinion, but I have Nelson behind by 2 points. That knockdown, 3 rounds to 2 with the knockdown, adding that extra bump.
Fur, do you see it closer?
I have it an exact draw right now, 47-47. I think Azumah's come on since then, landing heavier punches, and Leija fighting a little bit more desperately, not with that control that he had at the beginning. Now
beautiful shotgun jab, as Bobby Ches likes to call it, by Leija. Very effective.
Yeah, when they take that jab and they stuff it like a power punch, that's what we used to call the gym a shotgun jab, and the term kind of just stuck.
Nelson 36-2-2, 25 knockouts, 10th defense of the title. Leija 27-0-2. He's never lost, 13 KOs. His second world title shot. First was the draw against Nelson. Oh, what a barrage by Leija.
Beautiful combination. Nelson blocked some of them, but he also ate a few, and here he comes. See, this is the kind of mental pressure he wants to put on the young kid and make him panic.
Crosses those arms, he's challenging you, trying to come through there.
Come on.
Oh, that's a low blow, but they're all the way around the equator there.
That's lower than low.
That's the other side of the world.
That's really south of the border. The cut under control for Leija. Dos Souza doing a nice job.
Jesse's watching that right hand. He's certainly eyeing it up, and he's keen. He's keeping his left hand as high as possible after he jabs and when he's on his way in. But he, too, is looking to land the right hand.
Leija under the tutelage now of Don Kahn, who trained some greats. Alexis Arguello, Wilfred Benitez, Wilfredo Gomez. Pretty good company.
And also worked with Julio Cesar Chavez until this fight, when Emmanuel Stewart has taken over.
Standing right in front.
I'll tell you what Nelson's trying to do is get Jesse to shoot some of his punches and make him maybe burn himself out a little, unload a little more than he should this early. Again, Nelson likes to be that late charging guy. He takes charge. The last fight we thought he pulled out in the championship rounds.
But what a chin on Nelson.
And what guts on Leija, because Leija's standing in front of a cannon and he's firing away. Boy, this young kid is good.
Azumah Nelson treated like a hero in his native Ghana. Taunting a little bit is Nelson.
Well, he's having a good time right now.
Well, I think Leija took a little page out of the Cornell Sweet Pea Waker book, ducked real low. Couldn't reach him.
And the crowd gets behind the challenger again. Backstage with the gutsy WBC Super Welterweight champion Simon Brown on the threshold of his second title defense. Very animated in that locker. A little over a month after his upset win over Terry Norris, Brown went 12 tough rounds with rugged Australian Troy Waters earning a majority decision.
Walk, Azumah. Hey, walk. This man beats you because he's more better beats you because you do not do nothing. You're not possible to do nothing. God damn it.
Let's take a look at the uppercuts as they came raining down. See, those are 2 misses. Now that's a perfect uppercut. Right on the button. Right on the button by Leija. That one missed. That one missed. See, sometimes you see these things and everybody gets excited. One good uppercut landed out of that whole thing.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a clean uppercut. And the problem, and you saw it in the corner if you're listening, Azumah Nelson's corner saying, you're doing nothing, and they're really upset with him.
Well, he did nothing in that round. I mean, that was a clear Leija round, clearly.
Round 7, scheduled for 12 for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship.
You know, we all talk about getting old in a day, and it happens no more apparent than when you're a professional boxer. Sometimes you get up and all of a sudden the day is here. It's upon you.
What about Nelson's age? We haven't seen much evidence of it yet up until tonight from Azumah, but generally do the skills erode gradually or all at once?
Sometimes they erode gradually, and sometimes you just show up and you're not there.
It depends on your career also. If you have a career where you're fluffing along and not getting hit and everything, you can last a long time. But if you get these warriors like this guy who takes a lot of punishment, one day you wake up and it's not there.
Would you be surprised if suddenly tonight everything just fell apart for this guy?
No, everybody's been waiting for it for about 5 years. It's just that he won't cooperate. I mean, he is so tough, and he's such a patient fighter. After all, we're in round 7, and we've got 12 to go. Listen, this is nowhere near over.
Well, something that fighters don't like to talk about, too, as the action's heating up. Sometimes in the gym, things aren't going that well, but Nelson is the kind of guy that wouldn't tell you anyway.
Oh, they go toe-to-toe, left hook by Azumah Nelson, and back comes Leija with combinations. Uppercuts to the head, to the body. His entire repertoire.
See, Jesse did a smart thing there. He didn't just keep punching. He didn't waste himself. Walked away, let Nelson come to him.
Because he wasn't hitting much with it. When he crosses his arms like that, it's hard to hit a professor. You're hitting arms and you're hitting all kind of elbows and gloves. Look at the way he crosses that glove in front of his face. And so, therefore, he walks out and he says, I'm not going to waste myself on that.
The old mongoose made that defense very popular. Light heavyweight Archie Moore.
And Norton could do it very well. He certainly did it to Ali 3 times. Across that glove, you couldn't figure out how to hit him.
Norton's arms were so big, he couldn't put him upright anyway.
2 tough, ferocious counter punchers.
Interesting fight as Leija has got this thing in his hands if he wants to take it. It appears that Azumah hasn't got that flash and brilliance tonight. So let's see how consistent can he be till round 12.
He hasn't lost since 1990 to Pernell Whitaker. Azumah Nelson. He said, as we mentioned at the outset, he would quit if he didn't knock out Leija.
So I guess if he loses the decision, he'll still quit.
That is nice before fight nonsense. That's all
yeah, basically it's hype. It's just talk.
Well, that's what I was saying about the gym, too. Every fighter will tell you, it's the best training camp I ever had. Well, that's almost impossible. I'm sorry. I've yet to have a training camp that was better every time, no matter what.
Leija going to the head. But back comes Azumah Nelson.
See, here's where you find out, too, with Azumah Nelson. He's coming for it, but he's not doing as much as he used to. Is he getting old? Here's where you'll see the signs of it.
And he walks very gingerly back to his corner.
You're doing fine. Take a deep breath when we walk. Give me Vaseline. Give me your hands down here.
Title. Now just watch sharply how many of these punches land. Those 2 landed. That landed on arms and so forth. You see, he's getting together a combination. He's not doing a great deal of damage, but they're all landing and they're big point getters.
Well, it looks good, too. You know, some of the judges, split second, they don't look, and there's a combination. It looks like 6 punches landed, only 2 landed, but it looks good, and he's being the effective aggressor.
And the other guy didn't land a punch, didn't punch back, so there's no question in it.
Now Jesse turned it around.
Wow, it looks like Santa Claus. Ice is coming out of his trunks. Azumah Nelson's got so much ice coming out of his trunks, it's going to be a big miss.
It's like the good humor man.
Yeah.
That's one of the ways they'll do to wake you up, but I don't particularly like it.
I was going to say, Bobby, if he's got ice down at trunks in the 8th round, he really needs a wake-up call. That's an indication his corner doesn't feel like he's got it tonight.
Leija doing a splendid job defensively, ducking under, really frustrating. frustrating Nelson.
Nelson looks a little bit desperate here, winging big shots, something I don't think he needs to do. I think he needs to just to get in that forward march again. But Nelson's not biting, sticking jabs, stuffing them. Quickest way to a point is a straight line. He's just stuffing that jab, trying to keep Nelson away.
Azumah Nelson, who won the WBC Super Featherweight title in 1988 against Mario Martinez. He's defended it 9 times. Jesse James Leija has other ideas tonight. Right hand by Leija that lands.
Big right hand, not only got his attention, I believe that got a little more of his attention than he wanted.
Thumping shot.
If he keeps this up, he's going to drop him again.
He was down once, 120 into round 2.
Get up in there.
Leija is simply out-youthing him, if there is such a word, outworking him, outspeeding him, outthinking him, and I've never seen Azumah Nelson this slow or confused, Bobby. He doesn't look like it's his game plan anymore.
You know, we talk about his age, but don't take anything from Jesse. He's absorbed some big shots. He's had to deal with the cut. He's got to deal with a man in front of him who's trying to hurt him. You can see the evil intentions on most of those punches, but Jesse's winning the fight with combinations, not that 1 or 2 big slams, just combination after combination.
And you got to comment here, Joe Souza's done a fantastic job on the cut. That which looked like it was going to be important has all of a sudden turned it into irrelevancy. Nothing is happening with that cut. That's great corner work.
Well, we covered all these points. Leija telling us his legs are much stronger and quicker than the veteran Azumah Nelson, but we also talked about the fact that Nelson likes to wear his opponents down and come on strongly. Body shots by Nelson. Now Nelson really coming alive. Right hand that tagged Leija. But Leija's got a super chin too.
I'll tell you what, there is no quitting either one of these men, and Jesse just showed me something. I've been saying this for a while. This kid is the goods, and you may be seeing a legend in the making right before you.
We just saw a furious exchange of the blood. Streaky again. The cut has reopened. Left side of the Leija face.
Yeah, because that was an awful lot of leather raining down on that cut.
Final seconds of round 8.
Great round. Great round. Azumah's walking around sort of pointlessly. He didn't go to his corner. He's sort of walking around like he didn't know where he's going.
Aimlessly.
That was a good word, aimlessly. Pointlessly, I thought was
Watch the ice, okay, Justin? Yeah. Make sure that ice doesn't get in the ring.
Wait, I'm going to the head. I'm going to the head.
All right, here we see the attack that's mounted by Azumah Nelson. Now, you see Azumah's not holding back. It's everything he's got. He's trying to finish it up. He's trying to finish the entire thing up. But look at Leija's. Not only is his defense good, but then he gets himself full of energy and comes back. There's the right hand. Now, all of a sudden, he says, well, it's my turn. Another right hand, a left, right. And you see, he fights his way back and takes command of the end of the round.
His combinations are coming quicker, and something we talk about with age, you don't see the punches so quickly. And even when you see them, sometimes your body doesn't register the directive to get the hell out of the way.
Well, if there is such thing as an even round, that could have been it, but I'm not sure.
So much moisture in the corner of Azumah Nelson. So both in neutral corners. Mitch Halpern taking control. There's ice everywhere, particularly in Azumah's corner.
Well, Azumah can use the rest.
Absolutely.
Fight people will do anything. To motivate, wake up, just spur you on.
Round number 9.
Well, I think Azumah has dug himself a deep hole here. I have Leija ahead, 77 to 75, but I think he may be much more ahead.
I have him ahead 77 to 74. So the way we see it, Nelson's got to win every round from here on out, or have some knockdowns on his side to take a decision. But after all, we're not the judges.
That open scoring certainly would have been interesting here now.
Yeah, and Bobby, you had, once again, in another fight, you guess, hey, what if this is a draw again? You know, hey, once again, Bobby, it could be.
Well, some of the rounds were a little close. Like the last round, I thought Jesse dominated most of the round, and Nelson came back with a big barrage. But to close it out, there was Jesse again, so I gave him that last round.
Leija has 2 draws, one with Nelson, the other back in 1990 against Edward Parker. So round number 9 continues.
Well, Azumah is looking to see if this kid is now beginning to wear out and get tired, as he did the first time they fought when he did not have the same steam in round 9, 10, 11, and 12. But he looks fairly fresh. I mean, he looks a lot better than Azumah Nelson looks.
In the first fight, we had it even. At least I did after 10. It was the 2 championship rounds, and Nelson pulled it out in my eyes. And I'll tell you what, this is where he's going to need to charge again.
Oh, keep it up, Peter. Keep it focused, Yellen. Let's go.
Most of this fight has occurred in the center of the ring. We've seen Azumah Nelson fight off the ropes brilliantly in the past, particularly against Jeff Fennick, but so far no evidence of that here tonight.
This is very slow this round because they both look like they need a break. Neither one of them are causing the other any trouble.
Coach, keep it up.
He's taking a point. Nelson. Nelson is mystified.
Did you see something I missed?
Did I miss something? I mean, are we sitting here watching a fight that's a low blow festival with hardly anything? Oh, man.
Referee Mitch Halpern taking a point away from Azumah Nelson for an alleged low blow. And there was a low blow.
That's your last word. Let's go. Come on.
Mitch Halpern says that's your last word.
Were the warnings equal? I don't know.
That's what I wonder about. I really never detected a warning earlier on Nelson.
Yeah, I didn't hear him say anything to Nelson.
I saw him warn Nelson at one time. He warned Leija one time, but I thought that was the second time, and just now was Leija's second time.
It certainly wasn't blatant. I mean, Leija didn't seem to object or mind or get bent over or anything. I mean, what was he talking about? Oh, nice.
Combination by Leija that rocks Nelson off the ropes. What a finish to the 9th round by Leija.
You worry too much. You worry too much. This man not possible to do. This man do it because you lead to it. Please, Azumah, please, goddammit.
And now he definitely
Azumah, goddammit, please.
in a hole that he can't get out of unless he wins. Let's watch that, which Bobby and I both missed, and Steve. Well, that certainly wasn't it. Wait a minute.
There's a huge mistake being made here.
Now, at the end of the round, this possibly when Azumah was winning this round, and back comes Leija's, really put some damage on him. And if he wins it, then you really got a 10-8 round. He's just lost a round.
Well, you know, that's what I was going to say. He took the point and a 5 or 10 second close. I'm going to score the round even.
Bobby, that's probably right.
So 1 point deducted from Azumah Nelson for a low blow in round 9. We thought rather unfairly. More moisture and ice in the corner of Nelson as we enter round number 10 momentarily. Mitch Halpern doing some housekeeping. Azumah Nelson with his championship on the line.
It's not out of distance mathematically if we're right. Apparently, this is such a close fight that these referees are going to score it any way they want to. But, I mean, these judges, we've had some experience here.
As of recent time, you can be on the floor and get an even round. I don't know. Las Vegas is getting to be a scary place.
Well, that was a scary point deduction.
Always an adventure when we come here.
I was just about to say that Mitch Halpern has done a pretty good job staying out of everybody's way, and all of a sudden he commits that.
Left hand by Nelson, but again, Leija staying right in there.
There was a good right hand to the body right before that, too, but Leija showing you his chin is just as good.
Now, Leija has really shown good chin here. He's shown everything. Good boxing, good chin, aggressiveness. He's got all the goods of a champion.
He has pretty much dictated the tempo, controlled the pace. Excellent ring generalship.
You can see them there. There was a big thought process going on.
Azumah better get started here.
Keep in mind, 35-year-old Azumah Nelson, the longest current reigning champion in the world. And the chance of Leija urging the challenger on. Of course, the big Cinco de Mayo weekend, many Hispanics on hand, getting behind Jesse James Leija out of San Antonio, Texas.
They're here to see Chavez, of course, but long as they're here, they're for their blood. That's Leija, and he's certainly giving them a good fight for their money.
Azumah Nelson knocked down 120 in a round 2. Leija cut 110 in a round 4, a deep cut around the left eye, and a 1-point deduction from Nelson for a low blow in round 9.
Now here's a round where anybody could steal it at the end if they get hungry. Because they've just been doing next to nothing, both of them resting. Now here's a round where if Azumah gets, oh come on, another one of those.
I'll tell you, the point that they took away, Nelson threw a right hand that was blocked, and his hand just slid down along his thigh. Didn't even hit him in the low region.
Exactly. I bet this guy, when he sees the replay, is going to feel sorry. I see that hit glove. That hit glove, it hit nothing.
The crowd reacting, they did not see that.
You know, sometimes, too, when the glove is laying on your cheek or your chin like that, there is some impact felt, and it's not all that minimal.
Right hand by Leija. Solidly connected.
He should have stayed there and done some work, because this round is up in the air, and he could have taken it with that.
Final seconds of the 10th round.
Let's keep it up for Leija, but he's warned him already.
We headed to the championship rounds now.
Era 2 rounds for knockout, man. Era 2 rounds for knockout, man. Do it, Azumah, do it. Do it, Azumah.
Yeah. There's only 6 minutes more time. 2 more minutes.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, Azumah. 6 more minutes.
Don't give me no shot. You're the new champion of the world. Don't give me no shot. Don't let him go now. Keep him busy. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, baby.
Okay.
It's right there, Jimmy. It's right there. Come on.
Where's the mouthpiece?
Yeah, fight back with him. Fight back with him.
Okay.
Back it. Don't get careless. Keep your hands. Move around but fight, okay? Like a whip plan. Okay? No te preocupes lo que es tu match. Okay?
The translation is 4 guys saying the same thing. You already got the championship. Don't get careless. Keep moving around a lot. That's basically what all that cacophonous ended up saying. There's 4 guys talking at the same time. In the midst of all that, Leija said, "Where's my mouthpiece?"
Nelson comes out winging, but counter-punching is Leija.
I'll tell you what, he hurt Jesse a little bit, but look at Jesse. He's got the fortitude it takes to back off a champion as great as Azumah Nelson, so he can do what he has to do.
The pace frantic to open up the 11th round.
A lot of desperation for Azumah, because they've told him he's blowing this, he's blowing it big, and he's got to have a knockout. So there's a great deal of anxiety on the part of Nelson. His children are here for the first time ever to watch their father fight, and her father apparently is losing this fight.
Well, I'll tell you, Jesse's corner, 4 guys screaming at one time. I would hate that.
Oh, God, isn't that?
Don Con Miguel Diaz with the Newt Rockney speech in the face of Leija. Jose Buffalo Martin urging Nelson on in the other corner.
And you must pay very, very close attention to these 2 rounds, because these are the 2 that could decide this. If this is at all close on anybody's scorecards, this is where it goes.
And heaven knows we've seen it before.
Oh, many times. And also, remember, Azumah Nelson is a beloved champion. Beloved. Very few people dislike him, so it's hard to give him those marginal rounds, although this kid has earned every last little bit he's got.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, Azumah's got to knock him out in these championship rounds, or he will lose his title.
He's not fighting like he means to. He's not fighting like he has to, Bobby.
It could be left in the hands of Kamel Youssef of Egypt, Jojo Guerra of Mexico, and Jerry Roth of Las Vegas, the 3 judges.
Jerry Roth being the guy that made that knockdown an even round in the Mora Holyfield fight the other day. To the astounding of anybody that knows anything about boxing.
So keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh, but he is a very good judge. Jerry Roth is one.
I've got enough to think about already.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Azumah Nelson.
A lot of people are going to say tomorrow morning in the papers and in the press, maybe even tonight, that if Leija wins this title fight, that, well, Azumah just got too old, but that would be doing a serious injustice to this young man who's fought a tremendous fight.
He has that, Bobby.
You can take nothing away from Jesse James Leija. Brilliant tactical performance here against the champion.
And at the risk of assuming something, this could be the last we see of Azumah Nelson if he loses today. A very prideful man, and a man who's financially very secure in Africa and doesn't need to fight anymore.
What it might do is set up another revenge or repeat.
Bobby, you're from New Jersey. You're always thinking of these angles.
Nelson is an entrepreneur. He owns a distillery, a very successful, thriving one back in Africa. Missed there at the bell.
Hace falta ser estúpidos, Agua.
The same exact way I think this fight is Jesse James's to just hold on to now if he stays on his feet.
Knock out this guy around. Knock out this guy around. Don't forget about it. Okay, you push your do it.
Like a crazy man, okay? You're going to come like a crazy man. Keep your hands up, okay?
Make a miss, make a miss.
He's coming on close, Johnny. He's coming on close, you understand? He's coming on close.
We don't have to struggle to get out of here. Okay. Let's go, Miguel. Come on.
We're going to come up with you, Miguel. Keep your hands up. Come on, Miguel. Move your hands. I'm going to move your hands, okay? Let's go.
There's the bell. They'll touch gloves for round 12. He's coming unglued. The words from the Leija corner. Azumah Nelson, who has followed in the footsteps of such great African champions as Dick Tiger, battling Siki.
Come on, Ref. That's
He's looking
exactly
to
where
hang
it takes
on.
the corner.
Beautiful defense by Leija, blocking those punches. Again, further frustrating. Azumah Nelson swinging wildly now.
And now you are seeing an old champion and a young, the face of the future here.
Jesse just shows so much patience and poise. It's beyond his years and experience. It's just really a delight to watch.
And one of the class acts, too, out of the ring.
Well, this is the night that everybody's been saying for about 5 years. It was going to come any time now. Azumah is finally fighting like an old champion.
And Leija definitely will be able to look into the mirror after this fight and say, I gave an honest effort.
Honest effort and then some. I'm jealous of his talent.
And before we start lighting cakes and so forth for the victory, remember we are in Las Vegas. Very true. Creative judging is the name of this game here.
Right hand that lands by Leija.
I make you a bet that the guy from Egypt bets Azumah Nelson won by a good margin.
Oh, I'm not taking or touching any of those bets.
Kamel Youssef, the Egyptian judge. And we just get sprayed.
Small shower.
Oh, got that one in the eye.
Right hand by Leija.
Another one.
And I'm surprised Jesse's even pressing it this much. He feels he has the fight won, and he's going after Nelson.
Yes, certainly not keeping his distance, going straight forward as he has all night. Under a minute to go in the final round.
You know, we saw this fight last year. You saw things a little differently. 10th, 11th to 12th round, you saw the champion, Azumah Nelson, coming forward, and Jesse trying to fend him off. Now you see who's going forward.
I think he looked at the tape an awful lot. And he said, I didn't need to take it easy that last 3 rounds, and he has taken these. And I believe, on my part, unofficially, he is the new champion. Leija, I'm freaking out.
Leija, 27, in great condition, but so is the 35-year-old Azumah Nelson. Nelson on his toes. Here are the final seconds of the fight. You will hear a roar. The chance of he won the title from the corner people of Jesse James Leija being hoisted toward the ceiling.
We won the title, we champion of the freaking world! The big world, the whole world!
So here in the rematch for the WBC Super Featherweight Championship, Jesse James Leija feels he's got it, Bobby.
Well, I've been saying it all along. I'm real high on this kid. I think he's turned out to be one of the best fighters in the business today. He may be the next legend in that division. He may very well be the biggest superstar on the rise there is. He has all of the skills in all of the areas necessary, the heart and brains to go with it, and he's a nice kid on top of it.
Not bad for a kid who said, I never thought of being a boxer when I was growing up. I vaguely remember one of my father's fights. His father, an excellent fighter in his own right. He says, I remember him being in the ring, then coming to us with a black eye. Well, Jesse James Leija may be on the threshold of a world championship.
And I can't impress upon you any more, too, that he didn't just beat any champion. He beat the man in that division to beat.
The longest current reigning champion, 5 years, Azumah Nelson. Let's take you all the way back to that knockdown in round number 2 when Azumah Nelson was dropped. This was 120 into round 2. Leija with the right hand. Sort of a delayed reaction, though, Bobby, for Nelson before he went down.
You know, it happens a lot when you get hit on the top of the head or the side of the head, and that's what happens. You see the right hand, he gets hit with one. It's kind of a roundhouse the first one. You see it coming in here. He's absorbing a few shots, blocking. He slaps him a shot there. Kind of gets his attention, but it's not a real big shot. And this one, it was kind of clean, but driven right off the side of his head, and that temple stuff, top of the head, that's dangerous.
And the low blow with the point deduction in round 9. And this really could have put Leija over the top.
Now look at that. That's a blocked shot that his arm just slid down the side of his thigh. I mean, that's absurd. That's really a bad call, but I'm sure the referee was doing his best. It wasn't something he did on purpose.
Well, we're getting set to throw it up to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official decision. So let's go to Jimmy right now.
Jimmy knows how to say no.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing here at the MGM Grand, here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Kamal Youssef scores at 114-113. Jerry Roth scores at 117-109. Jojo Guerra scores about 117-110. All three in favor of the winner and new champion, Jesse James Leija.
Great sportsmanship by Azumah Nelson, congratulating the new champion, Jesse James Leija, winning via unanimous decision. He is the new WBC Super Featherweight champion, and he put on a class act here tonight.
Don't push, I got the big. This is the kind of fight, Steve, you don't want anybody to lose. They're just great fighters and great gentlemen.